go there.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. We're going to our second section of this great webinar of Father Days today. And I'm going to ask my brother Frank and my sister Mino. They are the one that are going to conduct this second section. So over to you both. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Massien, for the first half. Thank you, everybody, once again. My name is Frank, and we are in the second session of the webinar. This is the Q&A session, and I'm going to be doing this with my sister, Mino Miller. So, Mino, if you are here, over to you.
Yes, yes. So while we're waiting for any question to pop on the screen, I was going to add to, if I may, talking about shining the light on others. This will involve recognizing and highlighting the talents, achievements, and positive qualities of others. This will amplify their presence and contributions, promoting a culture of appreciation and mutual respect. So thank you, leaders, for shining the light on the rest of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Milo, for that. Yes, like my sister just said, we are in the Q&A session, so any question at all that you have, this is the time. We've had a good first session talking about security, personal security. Everything has been said. Whilst we wait for more questions to come in, I believe there's some questions in there.
Yes.
If you want to take the very first one, and then go ahead.
The question is, does the Founders Back Office and our OES have a security system in which the system automatically logs out after a period of time without the user doing anything?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say yes. Okay, I would say yes because if you log into Bob system and then you leave it for some time, the system will log you out. So yeah, it will log you out permanently. So yes, I would say yes for discussion.
Yes.
Thank you. Waiting for more questions in the meantime. Frank, if you want to add anything else.
Yes, thank you so much. Whilst we wait for more questions to come in, Brother Bob has said a lot about personal security when it comes to email, phishing, whaling, and all that. And I think our brother Engineer Mike also said something about updates and upgrade. Now, the questions that I have, Engineer Mike, if you are here, you might want to check this. How do you know? Most of the times you are sending emails to update your device or your programs or whatever. How do you know that this is coming from the right channel? You said normally you see it on the taskbar on the right hand side, but how do you know this is coming from the right channel or the right side for you to be able to click on it to update your system or your program?
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Frank. So what happens is when you buy your system, right, and you have your computer, which is a Windows operating system,
Yes.
it gives you an opportunity to create a profile. Okay, once you create that profile, it will give you an account, a Microsoft account. Now, from time to time, it will give you messages like the pop-up, like I say, it will be on the bottom right-hand side of your system. If it's a Windows operating system, it will be a little bubble, either a yellow or a red red ink or yellow ink message. So once you click on that message, it takes you now to your profile, to your Microsoft profile. Now, when you click on the profile, it tells you that there are updates, Microsoft updates, new updates. So, which means it's coming directly from the producer of that system. It tells because you created that account when you had the system. You create an account to be logged into that system to start using it. So it will give you, it will, when you click on that message, like I said, the pop up, the little pop up, it takes you direct to your account. And on the account, it will tell you that Windows updates. You will definitely know that this thing is coming from the real source because you registered your system with the Microsoft operating Windows operating system, and it will show you that information. You will know that it doesn't give you an email into your email address. No, it will give you a direct pop up on your system, and when you open it, it takes you straight to your account that you created. And when you check on that account, it will tell you that you have so and so window update. Sometimes there'll be up to 8 of them, 4 of them, 3 of them, 2 of them. So the only thing you need to do is it will ask you a question. Do you want to upgrade your system now? Do you want to restart your system now? Those are the 2 questions it will always ask you. Either you want to restart your system or you want to upgrade your system. So you will choose one of them. So when you update a system, automatically it cuts you off, it shuts down your system and restart your system. And when it is coming up, it comes with the updated version of whatever system that it told you about, and your system will be updated, bro.
Yeah, also, just Microsoft has something that they call Microsoft Patch. I think it's every second Tuesday of the month. Vincent, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's every second Tuesday. So just to give you an idea when those updates come, it's every second Tuesday of the month. That's when they release their patches and their updates. So, so you know that it's legitimate when you see those pop-ups.
Yeah, just to add, Bravo, I have it now, but I've not updated my system.
Yeah,
it's there. So what Michael is saying is true. So they always
correct.
give you update direct from the direct source.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me add something too. If you go, Mike, engineer Mike, all these guys are 100% correct. If you go to that little window on the left side, I'm talking about a PC. Okay, I'm not talking about Apple. But if you click on that, go to settings and punch in Windows updates, it'll give you options. You can have it automatically update, and then underneath that, it has a pause date. You can have it pause 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4. So, like Engineer Mike said, when an update comes up, you'll see the little circle you see when you go to shut off. It might be yellow, and they'll say next to it, update. And like he said, I'll give you an option. You want to update now? Because if you do, it has to shut down and reboot. You can make a week. But yeah, all these things, I would never do an update to an email because you know that's not true. The company can do it. You can click that automatic update to off and then go in and ask all the time. I don't do it. I leave it on, but I leave it on because I know what to look for. But it's not a big deal. If you'll see it, it'll be there when you get in, be on the left side. When you go to shut off, that little that circle with the arrow circle, it'll be yellow or something. And when you put your mouse over it, it'll say update. And you say yes, now, no, later, remind me, stuff like that. You'll know that it's from the Apple. I mean, Windows. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. In continuation with the first question, Mariam is asking if we have a VPN on our computer, will that also help with security of the page?
Okay. Okay. I'll answer this question. Okay. The VPN is a virtual private network. So the VPN is used to secure your connection with your company. Let's say I work for Microsoft or I work for OnPassive, and then I want to connect to the OnPassive network system. I need a VPN. If I'm working from home, I'm not on the company side. I use the VPN, establish the connection with where I am to the company network system. So it protects your system to secure a connection from your network connection to the company network connection. So that's where the VPN play in the role, because VPN is a security connection with your home and your company you are working from. So that's how it works. Yeah. So I believe people will understand how the VPN works. is the connection to your network. If let's say I'm working from home and then my company is in maybe London, and then I use the VPN. First of all, I need to connect my Wi-Fi connection or my network connection from my home network, and then I use the company VPN. Once I establish the company VPN to my home network, so it's like from connection A to B, and then from then you can access the company all the resources, because if not that, you cannot access the company resources. This is how the VPN play in a company and individual working from home.
Yeah.
Okay, let me also add something. OnPassive a virtual a product or application is going to be the best is going to be one of the best also in the market. The one is going to come out of the market. Why? Because it is embedded with artificial intelligence. So the security there is going to be unspeakable. So that's when Ash always said we have our products are going to be the best in the market. No, it's because he has studied the market. He knows what is in the market, and he knows what we are bringing into the market. No company trusts your house network, so that's why they use that tunnel VPN to connect to your machines. And again, OnPassive virtual application or product is going to be one of the most powerful one in the market because it's embedded with AI. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Mino, do you have any question in there?
No questions now.
Okay. Guys, we are still in the Q&A session, and this is time for you to ask your questions. So whilst we wait for more questions to come in, but Oliver, I'm going to come to you with this. How often should one change his or her password?
For me, I do change my password every month, but companies is 90 days. So it depends on you as an individual, how many days, but for best practice and to make sure that your system is always secured, always do that at least between 30 days and 90 days. Make sure you change your password. And if you suspect any foul play, please change your password immediately in any software that you're using. Let's say Microsoft, let's say Facebook, whatever. If you saw that, or if you just got that alert of any danger, change the password. But when you change that password, nobody has access again to it because you've already changed the password. And if somebody tried to send you a code and that you should read that code, if you read that code, please just change that your password immediately also, because some people will take it and they will change it also. And then for those who do online shopping, especially for our women, they always they shop online all the time. And you give your credit card numbers and personal information also. Please, when you do that, I'd advise that you should change your password. And when you change that password, restart your machine. Restart the machine. Immediately change your password, restart your machine, so that the settings are going to will respond immediately to that change of password. Thank you.
Thank you. One more thing that is probably a good idea to do, if I may add, monitor our account regularly, keep an eye on our bank statements and transaction histories, and looking for any unauthorized activities and reporting any suspicious transactions to our banks.
Thank you, Mino. Yes, there's a follow-up question on the password issue, Brother Oliver. Many a times, we do save our password on our devices, and we kind of create an account, Google account, where we save all those devices in such a way that we don't have to kind of type in the password again whenever we want to go into our account. It's already saving it, so we kind of is it advisable as a security person? Would you advise people to save their passwords, say multiple passwords on the device?
No. In fact, I'll go back again. You trust, but you verify. You can be in the house, like now I'm in my house. We are all in the house. Your daughter, your dad, your mom, your sister, whoever they want to pass by behind you, they see you typing, they can pick you typing your password. You don't trust anybody. When it comes in security, you don't trust anybody. Make sure, do not write it anywhere. When you see anybody spinning around you, don't type your password. When that person has gone away, you can put in your password. Don't trust anybody. Don't write it anywhere. I know Microsoft do have, at least Microsoft or Google, they do have a package that you can save, or if you have a lot of password, you can save it in there and go in there and do it. I don't trust it for one. As a security person, I do not trust it. I do not trust it. And learn also not to use your name or your date of birth, because most of those guys out there, they know that people, you always use some of their names and their date of birth, or their daughter or their family or their mom, their dad, to create password. Please always make sure that you have more than 10 characters or more than 8 characters for your password. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I add
Yes,
something?
please. Yes.
Thank you, Uncle Oliver. We really appreciate this topic. When I remember when we were still in the midst of presenting OnPassive to people, Uncle Bob have a life experience he used to tell us. He went to China and he went to an open place and used his password. Guess what? They used that password and came into his account and stole some money. The deed transaction was not him. So that is telling us that even where we are, our environment, we should be very careful. If it is an open, if it's an open internet services that is there, let's try to get a VPN, which our brother Vincent just told us. That VPN is that bridge. So if you want to go to a public place and use it anyhow, good, you should have a VPN. Uncle Bob suffered a lot because of that. They used his credit card and bought. He was having his confidence, typing his password, but he didn't know that somebody or whatever, they pick it up. Those guys, you don't know who is beside you, right? So let's just be very cautious of our environment. And like Uncle Oliver says, when you do that, don't save it. And when you reset your system or you change the password, try to reset your system or to reload or reboot your system so that those changes will come into effect. Thank you. That's just what I wanted to add.
Yeah, that's true. It was an open network that I went to, and we were talking about VPN. How if I'd used a VPN tunnel to go to the internet to access that website, I would have been fine. But it was open, so when I got back here, it looked like those unscrupulous people, they tried to use that credit card information which they had to make another purchase. So, but the bank caught it and stopped it. Yes, so VPN is very good when you go to that secure tunnel to go to your company, page, you find. But when you are in the open internet, anything can happen to you.
Okay. Yeah. And I could add one more thing, Frank. Enabling account alerts. Set up alerts for transactions and changes to your accounts. Many banks offer notification via email or SMS for activities such as large transactions or login from a different device.
Thank you, Mino. Wonderful. Thank you, Engineer Mike and Brother Bob, for answering those questions. We saw guys waiting for your questions to come in. Mino, do you see any question in there?
Yes. Somebody's asking, how do I reset my system? Reset my system.
Good one.
What do you mean reset your system?
What system are you referring to?
Well, I'm sure it's from the presentation or from what I just said. So it's for you to shut down. When you say reset, it's
restart,
to shut
restart,
down. Restart. Yes. Restart your system.
Restart.
If it's your phone, you restart it. That's what Uncle Oliver was referring to. If it's your laptop, you restart it as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Mike, for taking that question. Yes. Mino, is there any question in there?
No, not anymore at this point.
Okay. While we wait for more questions to come in.
Okay, I will say something about the password issues, Brother Frank.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, for the password, we should have a habit to change our password frequently, because it's what the main problem with issue that we are facing mostly is the password issues. Because when you display your password, people can use it and log into your system. So the best habit that we should do frequently, we should change our, because before we used to, even Microsoft before, those days we used to do 90 days to change the password. But now Microsoft advised to change the password every 30 days. But so if we cannot do it every 90 days, at least if we cannot not do it every 30 days, at least every 90 days, we should change our password. But when the money come in on passive, we should have a habit to change our password every 30 days, because it's a money issues and people can use your password to access your account. So every 30 days, please guys, use the habit to change your password. What matter someone knows or not, change it frequently. Because if you change it frequently, it's difficult for the bad guys outside there to go to your system. But if you leave your password, I believe that some people, since they are open their account for OFounder or OES, they never change their password. This is really bad. Because imagine if I get your laptop, I can access to your system easily, because is mostly when you use it, anytime you log into your system, is on your Google browser, it's saved there. If I go there and say password, you give me your computer, in next 2 minutes or 1 hour, I will access all your accounts without asking you anything. I can do that. So it's not safe to leave your password for so many months. Is not good practice. So the best practice, at least every 30 days, change your password, especially that is money issues. Is your wallet there, everything will be there. So please, 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 I'm asking you again, every 30 days, have the good habit to change your password. If you not do it, any computer person or IT person hack your laptop, is finished. You can access all your accounts. Immediately in the next hour, you will access all your accounts. So it's security is one of the top security measures we need to think first before we can do everything. Every 30 days, I repeat again, every 30 days, have a habit to change all your password. And then when you do that, you are one way safe. But if you don't do it, you compromise all your accounts. Someone access your computer, you can compromise everything. You can change everything immediately. So please, this is my advice to all of us to do that.
Let me give a suggestion. I know. Thank you, first of all, by the way, brother Vincent. I know people are going to be like, man, every month to change your password every month. Yeah, and it's going to be hard to remember. You know, it's true. Most of us are getting old, but the technique that I use is I could use one same password for maybe up to 6 months, even 1 year. But what I do is I just change. Let's say my password is Mino Miller. So I would say I like to use like a number and a special character, an uppercase, you know. So I would say 3 Mino Miller pound. Then the next month I can change it to Miller Mino 3 pound. You know what I mean? So that you don't forget, because most of us we tend to forget because if we change the password with different password name, but if you use the same phrase and the same characters and then just constantly turn it around, it might help for your remembrance, because it's hard to really keep track of changing the password so that this frequently. But that is the best practice and the best advice, because the bad guys are really out there and they are doing everything. As AI is here to help us enhance our lives, there are also bad guys who are also going to use AI to achieve their own.
Can I just add a little bit to that as well? I know a lot of founders have got multiple accounts, and you know, it's easy just to obviously use one password for all of these accounts. That is a definitely no. Okay, so if you've got multiple accounts, make sure that you've got different passwords for each account. Because you know, I put my hand up to it. I've done it in the beginning. I used to have the same password for a lot of accounts, but I have many passwords now which I rotate and obviously use in my accounts, but don't have the same password for multiple accounts.
Thank you.
Something there now.
When it comes to physical documents also, shredding documents containing sensitive information before disposing of them, and store important documents such as account statements and tax records and everything that we know how important they are in a safe. Perhaps we can put numerous account passwords that we have, write it down and stick it in a safe. Because the question that is asking, somebody's asking, I'm managing more than 25 accounts, but if I can't write them somewhere, how can I remember all of these passwords?
Okay, if you are to absolutely write it somewhere, fine. Write it somewhere, but you have to go to somewhere like a bank or in a safe at home. You want to keep that information inside a safe, which is not it's not easily accessible. So you can either have a home safe, put it where you have your code. They will have to, whatever they do, they cannot get access to it. Or you go to your bank, safe security deposit box at your bank, and lock it in there. But it cannot be just kept anywhere around so anyone can access it.
Thank you. No questions.
Can I add a little bit here? Ultimately, it depends on where you are and your setup, whether you have your laptop at home and it doesn't go anywhere, or your desktop, or what have you. I use a spreadsheet because, like you, I've got more than 2 accounts, so I need to make sure that I always remember the passwords. But as the boys have said, you have to rotate them, or you have to change them on a regular basis. So using the spreadsheet for me makes it easier, so that I can then just simply change all of those passwords on a fairly regular basis. But my laptop doesn't go anywhere. It's only in my house. Now, the other thing that I do have is that I keep I print one out every 3 months, and I put that in a safe place. Now, the reason I do that is because if something were to happen to me, I want my family to be able to access what I've got. Yeah, and I trust my family. So, I think common sense has to be used here to a certain degree. Yes, it's important to keep these things safe, but it's also important to make sure that somebody else knows what the system is in case something happens to you. And like I said, I simply rotate or change the passwords on a regular basis, and then update that list. Get rid of the last one, update the list, etc. Thanks, Minu.
Here is another good question. If someone gets your passport, they cannot get to your money without going through or verify, correct? Is that right?
I think you'll find that once we've done verify, and you've logged or linked your account to a bank account, it's going to be very hard to change that bank account. So at the end of the day, if someone is then trying to access money from that account, but it's logged or locked to a bank account, then verify kicks in. Yes, absolutely. So it'd be difficult to do. Having said that, it's not the end of the world. It is still possible to change the details, or change the bank details. Listen, if you've got access to my account, for instance, you'll have access to my verify and probably the documents that I set up for verify anyway. So if I then change the bank account details across to somebody else's, that's a possibility. Again, common sense, guys. This is common sense. So just keep this stuff safe. I don't know at this stage whether they're going to allow an amalgamation of accounts. So if you've got more than one account, originally I know Ash was talking about being able to access the other accounts from that one account. I'm not sure if that's now the case, purely from the point of view. And again, this is a logical viewpoint, not the exact viewpoint. But if you've got 5 accounts, for argument's sake, and each one of those accounts is then linked to the same bank account, for argument's sake, then you do O-Verify the same way for those 5 accounts. Again, originally the object of the exercise was, once we've got things like OMart and OShop on board, we would be able to use our wallet to transfer money from one account to somebody else's account. Again, I think once you've been through the verification process and on a logical point of view, that's going to be possible, I would imagine. But we've got to be very, very careful here with the money laundering regulations. This is part of the issue we've got with being in over 200 countries and having the problem we've got with the merchants at this precise moment in time. I have no doubt that Ash is trying to deal with that, but the verification process in India is totally different to what it is in the USA or the UK, for argument's sake. So it is a process.
Great, wonderful, Andy. Great questions. And cybersecurity and keeping your documents secure is a subject that you cannot over repeat. And let's just periodically remind us and help us do that. Thank you. I don't see any more questions.
Oh, there's one more there.
Yes,
okay. I thought to get the money out, AI had to scan the face to get it out. She thinks every time her face has to be scanned.
Again, not necessarily, because at the end of the day, once you've set up O-Verify and you've linked it to a bank account, you don't have to go through the verification process again and again and again and again, unless you're going to change that bank account from one account to another. And then you're going to have to go through that process. Again, that logic dictates that. If you look at all other businesses, the O-Verify process is there for 2 reasons. First of all, for money laundering, to ensure that the payments are going to the person that it's supposed to go to, and this is a legitimate business. So that's what money laundering is all about. And secondly, to prove who you are. Okay, so if you've done O-Verify, you've proven who you are. So therefore, if it's linked to a bank account, you shouldn't necessarily have to use facial recognition every time. Now, having said that, it might be different on a phone than it would be on a laptop. So it could well be that on the phone, if you're trying to move money on the phone, that you're going to have to go through that scan my face procedure. It's a good question, and it's a possibility.
So
a lot of this. Yeah, so, just very, very quickly, Bob. Now, a lot of this is speculation, guys. We don't quite know how it's going to work, how Ash Mufareh is going to set it up. But believe me, the way it will be set up, the security will be very, very high. And the only way that security will be broke is if you screw up.
Right.
It really is that simple. But I don't really know how, we might have to have facial recognitions to make a withdrawal from OnPassive. I don't know. Maybe we get a message on the phone. Is this you? You click yes, and then you do the withdrawal. So we don't quite know how it's going to go, but it will be very, very secure.
Yeah. Listen, the O-Verify, they'll be internal, and then banks have their own. The main thing is the company also wants to make sure it's you that's withdrawing from your account. If somebody was able to get in and try to hack, there'll be double things like Mike said. I get in and hack somebody's account, and they say, I want to withdraw this. And they go, well, is it you, by sending you a message to your phone? Well, the hacker would have to have your phone and your email. And so they're all that. And like Mike said, though, the main thing is when this comes out, it'll be much easier to explain because we really don't know what we don't know, right? So, and we'll know. As soon as it comes out, we'll be able to explain how it works.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that let's keep in mind that O-Verify is an identity and authentication verification validation system. So what they are doing is first they're going to come to your whatever in your OES. O-Verify is going to come and validate that information. And then it authenticates you now with your, it does a facial recognition of you, biometric facial recognition, matches it to that information that's on your profile and keeps it. Possibly, because the way most of these systems work, it is possible that every time that, we don't know yet, but it might be possible that every time that you make a withdrawal, like Maddie said, the system will prompt you, you have to, they will not go back and do verify again, but they will do some kind of verification to check. So if somebody steals your password, more than likely they will not be able to access your wallet and withdraw your money, because there's going to be some kind of authentication.
Absolutely.
You see, so but we don't know yet. Like they are saying, we don't know yet the details. Once it comes out, then we'll be able to make conclusive assertions.
Thank you. No more questions?
Yes, thank you very much, leaders, for answering all our questions. I think we've been on this webinar for 2.5 hours already, so we should be wrapping up. But before we do that, leaders, or Bob, you specifically, what is two-factor authentication?
Two-factor authentication is it's another security measure where the just to make sure, to prove that you are who you say you are. So you have another way of validation. So it could be your phone number. You use your phone. Let's say you want to log into a system, right? You log in, you put your username and your password, it goes through. The second factor, that's one factor. The second factor will be, they will send a code to something else, maybe your phone. So when you get that code that they send, you put it in, that's another factor. So that makes it a two-factor authentication. So it's a secondary way of proving that you are who you say you are, using another means or another device.
Yeah, I'll give an example. I have a crypto account. I log in, I'm going to make a withdrawal. When I go to make a withdrawal, it sends a code to my email. Now, the other one, it sends it to Google Authenticator. And what that is, I get the authenticator and I click it and it comes on. And there's a number there, a set of numbers, 6 set of numbers. I take that number and I put it into Kraken and they say, okay, but those 6 numbers, you've only got 30 seconds to put them in. And then it puts a new number up. And if you don't do that, another one comes up. It's a good thing to have, because it'd be very difficult to hack it, because even the number they give you changes if you don't use it in X amount of time. So it's a good thing to have, no doubt about it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Bromati and Bob, for answering that question. Mino, do you have any question before we wrap up?
No. Thank you so much, everybody. Great questions.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. Mino, thank you for doing the Q&A with me. We're going to be handing over to the moderator, Sister Marcien and Sister Fumi. Sister Marcien, back to you.
Thank you, everyone. This was a great webinar. And we want to reassure you that when we're talking about security, we are not talking about the OnPassive security, because we are already secure. So we are just putting you in guard for other stuff. Coming to OnPassive, we are well secure. So we thank all the men, all the father that they popping in today to tell us about security and talk and celebrate the Father Day with us. We know that they have other places that they should have been with their family, but they choose to be here. So I'm going to ask our Sister Lynn to close this webinar, and we'll see you again Sunday. Sister Lynn, over to you.
Thanks. What a great webinar, full of information, good participation, relevant questions from attendees who can't ask for more. Thank you to everyone here on the panel for contributing. And thank you most to the attendees who come here week after week, because they know they're going to get value out of Heroes webinar. Thanks, everyone, and see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.